First up, I'm gonna call on BJ from New Jersey.
Hello, brothers and sisters. How are you guys doing today? I guess just to reintroduce myself, my name is BJ. I'm 21 years old, and I live in the Northeast region in New Jersey. Despite the only time I'm going to be able to do this, but I just want to give a shout out to my hot dogs. But I guess the reason why I'm up here today is to share with you guys my heart, to share with you guys my suffering. When I was asked to share, I was very, I was very, I didn't know whether or not I wanted to do it. Because, a part of me was scared to open up my heart to you guys. A part of me didn't even think I was gonna even be here at conference because of what I was going through. But luckily, through God's grace, through God's blessing, I'm up here right now, giving His message. So, I guess it just started 2 months ago, where, God put me in, the craziest roller coaster of my life. It was about 2 months ago where my mom called me and my sister. She pulled us aside and she actually told us that my father had lung cancer and he had an aneurysm in his heart. So that meant that he had to have 2 surgeries at 2 different dates. And I remember that pain that my mother had. And it hurt me too. My family is one of the things I love most in my life. And it was crazy for me to even grasp the situation I was in. But I remember when my mom told me that, I couldn't believe it. So I just went on with life. And, on the day of the surgery, it was probably like two weeks after she told us. I remember on the day of the surgery while we were in the waiting room, waiting for my dad to finish his surgery. I remember I was so scared because I didn't know whether or not he would come out alive. And it hurt me inside. And it came to the point where I was feeling bitter towards God. I was feeling angry towards God. I just couldn't believe the situation I was in. But luckily, the doctor came out a few minutes later. And, he told our family, that our dad would be okay. And so, praise God. And so when they sent him to the recovery room, our family went to visit him. And, I remember when I looked at him, he was hurting so much just because there's so much chest tubes inside of him. He was cut up in the side where he had his surgery. And, the pain that he was going through, just looking at his face, it hurt me so much because I knew everything was out of my hands. I wanted to provide for my family, but I knew that everything was out of my hands. And it was at that point where we realized, as a family, that we would have to remain faithful to God. Through the suffering that we were going through, we would have to remain faithful to God because at the end of the day, it's God that takes care of everything. It's God that gives us the suffering. And I'm so thankful to God for just all that I've been through. It's crazy because once you think that everything's okay, God hits you again. And after he had the surgery, that whole week would pass by and my dad would look so weak. And then we found out by the doctors that he actually had an infection while the surgery went on. And so, you know, a part of me was so emotional because I just couldn't believe it again. You know, I thought that everything was okay, but then at that moment, you know, God was knocking at my heart again. So then my dad had to get surgery again. And you know, it was something so tough for us to, as our family to go through. You know, but he recently just finished his surgery, and everything's actually okay again. You know, we're still praying and remaining faithful to God, because honestly, that's all we can do. You know, we realize, you know, how merciful God is, and we have to realize, you know, that we have to trust in His plan. You know, whatever He does to us as our family, we have to realize, you know, that we should take this suffering as a gift, because honestly, it's brought my family closer than ever. I can't remember the last time we actually argued as a family. And you know, it's through this suffering that I'm going through that actually brought me closer to God. And I praise God for that. But I guess as I just close this story, or as I close my sharing, I ask you guys to also pray for my dad as he has his second surgery by the end of this month. He's going to be having a heart surgery, like I said before, and I really ask you guys to just send out your prayers towards him, and just pray for my family, and pray that, you know, our suffering would be healed. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you.